leading up to the Christmas period and winding down. So I said I'd come on today and talk about self-talk. So that conversation we have internally, referred to as the internal dialogue. So why do I want to talk so much about this? Well, I spent years of my life speaking to myself very harshly and, in fact, in a very bullying way. The words weren't nice, they were quite negative, and I would have given myself a hard time for absolutely everything, even though I would have been trying my best. When it first started and I first had the realization that it was destructive, it was in my late teens in secondary school. So I would have observed it quite a lot and got so caught up in that internal dialogue. There were times I felt that there was no way out of it until I discovered meditation. I discovered meditation maybe 20 odd years ago, and it really has been an anchor to help me through some difficult times in my life, and I find it very, very powerful. I practice each day at least 15 minutes. Of course, I've built myself up to 15 minutes. There's no way I would have done 15 minutes to start with. But realistically, 1 or 2 minutes to begin with, and then start to build it up. And the thing about meditation, it's like anything new. So when you're a child and you're learning something new, how to ride your bike, it's going to take practice and consistency. And it's the same as brushing your teeth. You've got to learn to do that. But over time, you learn it so much that it becomes ingrained in you, and it becomes so habitual that you know if you haven't brushed your teeth. Well, the same with meditation. You know the days you haven't meditated. And what meditation does is quieten down the internal dialogue and allows us to observe more what that conversation looks like, what that self-talk looks like. And of course, if the self-talk is destructive, it's going to have a ripple effect on every situation around you and your relationships and your work and your life. So when we meditate, we're able to watch the thoughts like they're clouds just floating past. You're able to watch and you learn not to get attached to the thought and let it float past. When I teach yoga and meditation and I'm getting people to go into relaxation, I get them to allow the thoughts to come in the front door. Don't offer them a cup of tea and send them out the back door. That's one way of looking at it. Another is the cloud. Visualizing the clouds in a blue sky, just watch them float past. Let the next one in and the next one and continue like that, letting go each time. The hardest thing I've ever found was letting go. I found that such a hard thing to do, and I think yoga taught me that whole thing of letting go when you're holding a shape for 5 breaths. And you really have to surrender into that moment and let go of thoughts. And in the meditation, another one is to visualize the thoughts like balloons and you're holding a string. And then just allow yourself to let go the string, let go the thoughts. They're only thoughts. But they can get a grip of us and they can start to control us and become in charge of us. And whatever the conversation internally, if whatever you say to your mind, your body will believe it. And I love listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza, who talks a lot about the mind-heart coherence. So if I say to myself, well, I'm not able to do that, well, then that's what my body's going to believe. But if I change that internal dialogue, I'm not able to do that yet, but I will give it a go. It completely shifts the energy around it. So we have the power to change this internal dialogue. And especially if it's negative, criticizing and judgmental against yourself. And how would we start? Well, first of all, observe them. Observe what the conversation is like, write it down in a journal, and start to investigate. Really, would I speak to my best friend like that? Then why am I speaking to myself like that? And have that good chat with yourself that you want to make that choice to change that conversation into something a lot more positive. And I am evidence that this does work, but it works with consistency, with discipline, and commitment, committing to your own well-being. Not everyone can sit down in silence and practice meditation, but there are many guided meditations. You can check out my YouTube channel. I have several posted there. Or find someone that you resonate with their voice, and there's a few podcast meditations as well, and find what works for you. And I know that it's hard to sit still. I'm a prime example. I'm a go-getter. I never stop. I go, go, go. So it was challenging for me to sit down. It wasn't challenging for me to do a marathon, because I can do that because I'm a go-getter and I can go, go, go all the time. But the challenge was to sit in stillness. So if that's your challenge, challenge yourself, because that's the only place you're going to see growth and change. So if you were to practice for 21 days a meditation, and there's plenty of them out there, Deepak Chopra, he's a 21-day meditation, and you could start carving out a space for you every day, realistically a time that suits you. It is better in the morning. To be honest, when you wake up, you'll have millions of thoughts in your head. It's nice to quieten those down and get a little bit of focus of your day. So carve out the time. If you get up at 7 o'clock, then set your alarm to get up at 6:45 for you, and create that space for you to begin to observe what your internal dialogue sounds like, what your thoughts look like. Are they holding you back? And it is possible that they can be holding you back. Often we can find ourselves on the cusp of change. And this is a lot of the time where it happens. You're just about to break through and make that change. And of course there's chaos, because your brain knows that there's something going on, that there's change coming. You've been so hardwired for this old way. And suddenly this new you is coming to fruition. And your brain goes, no, I prefer the old you. And sends you into a little bit of chaos. But here's where, when you stay even more consistent through that, showing up for you on your meditation, on the space that you've created out for yourself to get a handle on your internal dialogue, get a handle on your thoughts, get a handle on the internal conversation. What does it look like? One popular thing that comes up a lot with my clients in life coaching is I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve that. That can stem from a very young age, and it can be hardwired into your system. But here's the good news. You can rewire your brain, but it takes discipline, everyday consistency, meditation, every day for 21 days, and you can change that I'm not good enough to I am good enough. This stuff holds us back. I know this. It holds us back from pursuing our dreams or our vision. It's a self-limiting belief. It's an internal dialogue that has a conversation that's negative, judgmental, bullying, criticizing. I know, I was there, and I still have to check in every day. It doesn't just go away. It's always going to be there, but you can check in with it and work at reframing the language. So reframing the language. I can't do that. Full stop. Change that. I can't do that yet, but I'm going to do some research and I'm going to learn how to do that, and I'm going to try my best. So straight away there's a lightness in that. So that's it. I just wanted to come on today to talk about, I suppose, one thing that I would have struggled quite a lot with, and I have to check in with it every day. And it's something I do every day, is meditation. It's one of the best gifts I've given myself in my whole life. If you are a person that spends a lot of time in your head thinking, and you're a deep, deep thinker, and you're a worrier, take action. Try to practice meditation. If you'd like to chat with me more, or if you'd like to get in touch, don't be afraid to send me